Today, I'm joined by Scott Kaler, who is the president and chief scientist with WeatherLogix. Now, I know we're only partway through December, but after the drought this year, I know a lot of farmers are keeping their eye on the amount of moisture that we're getting. So, Scott, just exactly how much moisture will we need to get a good start next spring?
Well, to get good recharge of soil moisture depends on the area. Some of the soils across the prairies are heavier clays, which hold a lot of moisture, and some are lighter type soils, which lose their moisture very quickly. So it would depend on where exactly the farmer is located and what type of soil they work on. But overall, if you just look at the picture right now, pretty much all of the prairies are experiencing a deficit in soil moisture, and that's worse in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So farmers are hoping for some good snowfall this winter to help recharge the soil once it melts. And then also some timely spring rains would also make a big difference.
And for long-term forecasts, what's it look like is going to happen?
Well, this winter we have what's called a La Nina event going on in the Pacific Ocean, which is when the Central Pacific is colder than normal. And under those conditions, it usually favors a cooler and wetter winter across the prairies. So far, the trends we're seeing tend to favor more of that cool and wet weather, a little bit weighted toward the west, so more in Alberta and maybe western Saskatchewan, whereas eastern Saskatchewan, Manitoba are so far looking like probably more of a normal winter temperature wise and also normal precipitation. So if we do see this trend continue, that would be probably beneficial mostly to farmers more in the western prairies, whereas in the east, they'll probably still be looking for more precipitation come spring.
And for springtime, what's the ideal kind of moisture situation?
I think people would be hoping for a more of a gradual melt in the spring when that does arrive, because if you get a really rapid melt, the soil is still frozen and most of the moisture will run off. A more gradual melt would allow the soil to warm up more slowly and the snow to melt more slowly, and that way more of it can find its way into the ground.
So, is there much that farmers can do to help retain a bit of moisture?
Well, in terms of snowfall, it's kind of difficult with that, especially on the prairies. We get a lot of strong winds during these snow events, and so the snow does also like to tend to blow off the fields. There are other water management techniques that some farmers have started using, but that's more to manage rainfall during the growing season, so they'll have their own retention areas to store water and things of that nature. But from a winter point of view, really the main thing is just trying to get a lot of snow and hope that it melts in a way that helps it actually find its way into the ground.
And you guys have an egg webinar scheduled for the new year. What can you tell me about that?
Our webinar will be on January 26th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time or 10 a.m. Central Time. And what we're going to talk about is prairie climates. So what are some things about prairie climate that are unique? What does a normal year look like? And how have recent years compared to what normal is? And we'll also have an expert on agriculture practices come in and also talk about some tips for farmers and how they might be able to use some of that knowledge to their benefit.
And then is there a registration fee, and where can people go to register?
It's free to attend, so all you need to do is just go to weatherlogix.com, and on our blog, there's a link to sign up.
Scott, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good day.